It's 2020, and what we need now is some zombies.
Yes, a zombie apocalypse.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Not run-of-the-mill zombies. I'm talking about
Not
the real...
28 Days Later zombies?
No.
Zombies?
I'm talking like those are like too fast zombies, because these zombies are like rotting and falling apart. And, when somebody's rotting and falling apart, and they just can't run fast.
Well,
They're
your
not
only
Olympians.
fear would be your mistake if you
Right.
stumbled or because they move so slow.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, I'm talking about like the king of zombies, George A. Romero.
Yes, 1968.
Yeah, incredible movie. Low budget stuff. I forget what it come in at it, but
I think it's like $114,000.
right. Now you couldn't even hire the main actor for $114,000 for a horror
no.
movie. That's how bad it is today.
Yeah, it's the greatest low budget cult movie ever made.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then second would have to be Halloween. I think it was a little bit more. I don't know. I think I read 300 or like 325,000 or something for that. But still, that's on the low end.
Right.
It's less than $500,000.
Yeah, and then when it comes to Halloween, I loved not just the movie, but the characters themselves. Like Dr. Loomis.
Oh, yeah.
Man,
Donald
I loved
Pleasance.
it.
No one could have done Loomis.
No.
Donald
Well,
Pleasance.
you got to bring Zombie into it now, because
but that's
Rob
a whole
Zombie.
Another show. We'll do
that's
Rob Zombie on another episode.
Exactly, but when it comes to Loomis, that guy, he did a really good job.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the reason it's the whole reason slasher genre exists.
Yeah, definitely.
Without Michael Myers, maybe we would have had Jason Voorhees, but Michael Myers was first.
Yeah, Mikey was first.
So.
And everybody wants to be like Mike. Maybe that's the wrong Mike. I'm not sure. Hopefully nobody wants to be like Mike, because, man, he was like a maniac slasher killer, but that's what the world needs these days.
Oh, swoon.
Oh, yeah.
I can't.
Just something about the reverse William Shat mask kind of do it for you there?
Oh, yeah, I guess that's what it is.
Is that what it is? Well, he is the Shat.
Yeah, he is the Shat.
He is the Shat, yeah.
But, Ben's character, Dwayne Jones, that was an epic role back then.
Oh,
1968,
yeah.
civil rights movement going on.
Absolutely.
Black star of a horror movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Great actor, though. Really did, a huge impact on the movie. He really just kept the whole crew together.
Oh, yeah. And then going to the theater to see it would have been something we don't get to experience now.
Right, exactly. Could you imagine going and seeing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in theaters for the first time?
So scary.
Oh, it had to be. You'd be going
Would you leave
nightmares.
the theater?
I don't know if I would actually walk
Would
to
you
the
want
car.
to camp out inside?
Yeah, exactly. Like hide in like one of the bathroom stalls and
Right.
like tuck around the back of the toilet. But that'd probably not be a good idea. You'd probably catch something worse than Texas Chainsaw Massacre behind the toilet.
But super scary.
Oh, absolutely.
Even today, it's full of grime.
Right, yeah. And I've got to throw this in here now that we're talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. My love for horror movies started with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre when I shouldn't have been watching the movie in the first place. Like 9 years old, looking around the edge of the couch. The adults are watching the movie, and we were supposed to be
Scared
playing.
shitless.
Oh, God, I'm telling you. Watch this movie, and I'm holding on to like this pillow, this little bitty pillow that come off the couch, and I'm crushing this sucker the entire time. That's not the horrifying part. The horrifying part when you're that age is after everybody goes to bed.
Oh,
so
yeah.
what I did, man, I snuck down the staircase, and we had this tall couch with like the big cannonball legs on, like wood cannonball legs, and I slid under the couch.
We're old. Under the couch.
Under the couch.
Slept
Absolutely.
under the couch.
Slept under the couch for like...
Safest place to be.
Oh, I'm telling you, because to me, I was looking up and I'm under the couch and there's like these metal springs that hold the cushions up and stuff. And, my young mind's thinking, there's no way he'll cut through this.
Oh,
It's metal.
yeah.
There's
Right.
no way. He'll get everybody else and then, I can just get up when he's gone and, get me something to eat or something,
Sure. Michael Myers would have cut through it, though.
Well, Michael Myers would have just like picked the whole couch up and threw it through the ceiling. You gotta love Michael Myers.
Leatherface would have, too.
Oh, you ain't wrong. Absolutely.
Giving props to the machete. My scary movie, I have two actually, but the scariest, I guess, to me as a young girl was The Exorcist.
Oh, yeah. Good movie.
I have, this generation now watches it.
Right.
And they're not scared. They don't see it. They don't see the fear, the anxiety, riddled with anxiety. I was terrified.
Absolutely, yeah.
they promoted demons and possession and stuff like that when we were young. Like you always heard things like demonic possession, piranhas, volcanoes, king cobras, all the things that were going to kill you one day if you ever adventured and toured the world.
Yeah,
You would be struck down by a cobra leaping from a volcano.
Or an anaconda.
Yes.
Crushing the volcano as
if
it
you
bit
visit
you
the
and sucks
Amazon.
you back down.
But The Exorcist, yes.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, The Exorcist is one of those movies that I don't see how anybody doesn't see how it's scary, because it's like one of those monumental movies that when you really sit down and focus on it, I mean, it really gets a hold of you and makes you just think.
Well, it surpassed it's no longer not scary because of it being dated. It's not scary now because we don't think certain things aren't promoted like they were when we were little. You know, you didn't have the same types of fears then as you have now. Now it's don't let your kid play outside. They could be abducted, you know.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, it's a different world we live in.
So it's hard for them to grasp that fear. And sadly things like that still, you know, could exist, but we're not taught about it. But The Exorcist was mine, and then my second was The Shining.
Good movie. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, one of the only, to me, true Stephen King movies that really just hit it right on the head as far as a good horror movie that went from book to film as far as Stephen King goes in his writings. I'm not saying he's not a good writer. I'm going to get hate
because I'm not a Stephen King fan.
Right.
As far as reading the books,
yeah,
I have no joy in it whatsoever. I believe he's overrated. If someone else carries his story to film, I'm all in. But his books, no, I can't do it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a big book person, but the Stephen King books just don't do it for me. But, I'll tell you what, we're not getting paid for this, but I'm going to throw a good advertisement out there. Anybody that's into horror movies or horror fiction or nonfiction or whatever you want to call it, Corey Taylor has a book out called The Funny Thing That Happened on the Way to Heaven.
Oh, Corey Taylor's so epic in every way.
Oh, I'm telling you, this guy,
everything he touches is gold.
I mean, his lyrics are phenomenal, but then when you start reading his books, this guy is like a lyrical genius.
Oh,
I mean, his books are just out of this world and just take it to a whole nother level. I mean, I am a grown man that loves horror movies, but after I read the first 2 chapters of this, I was looking over my shoulder while I was taking a piss to make sure that something didn't come out of the closet and get me. I mean, that's how spooky it is. There's very few people that can
instill fear like that. And a lot of people look at Stephen King that way.
Oh,
they like that he can instill that fear and that anxiety. For me, I don't know. Maybe I'm jaded. Maybe I've seen too much or expect certain things from horror movies. I'm a slasher fan. If I had to choose one subgenre,
big slasher fan too. I think the slashers are really where it's at. Even the B.
Where are the slasher masks? We got to wear masks. Everybody throw on a slasher mask.
Yeah, I mean, how cool would that be?
2020
to actually make a they N95 mask, right? And
that's the only thing that's going to stop the virus.
And I mean, actually make like a Michael Myers.
Well, they
mask.
were saying a while back that Fauci may be wanting to implement face shields. Go full on Jason Voorhees.
Right, exactly.
Get you a Michael Myers mask.
Yeah, absolutely.
Leatherface, mask up.
Yeah, see, I really like that idea. And I mean, there's no way on Earth.
Mask off, by the way.
Nice. There's no way that they'll be able to cancel Halloween this year because what's the big stipulation right now is you have to wear a mask.
Well, what's preventing people from robbing banks right now?
Well, I kind of wonder why you don't see more bank robberies on TV. Because at
go
first,
big or go home.
Man, when we first started wearing these masks, it was like I felt like I was doing something wrong going into the store with a mask on because it's like, all right, y'all grab the gats, let's knock this son of a bitch over, you know?
Yeah, for sure. It's crazy. 2020 is crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, we kind of kind of got to look at it like, from a fun perspective, I guess, that we got to do it, so we might as well make some fun out of it. So some mask company out there really needs to turn, all these horror legends and stuff and these classic monsters, Universal monsters and stuff, into N95 masks. And then we can all have a little fun out of it.
Full face mask.
Yeah.
I would wear it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I would definitely wear that. And when you were saying that, it kind of reminded me of like the horror movie. It's a newer one, but it's still a horror movie, The Purge.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Purge.
With The Purge,
first couple I could stand.
Oh, that's what got me thinking about the masks, because in that movie they had some really cool masks.
Oh yeah,
they really did, and it kind of gets you thinking. Like right now, with all this like Antifa stuff going on, and George Soros, do you think he could buy them some better masks than what they got now?
Yeah, suit them up, suit them and boot them. Give us something exciting to look at.
Yeah, exactly. Come on now. If you're going to do something, go all out. Get some light up LED mask or something, at least make you fucking right. Look like a rave or something, give it to it.
That's deep.
Yeah. Like a whale.
Deep. Yes, it is.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, one of my biggest problems right now is, especially when it comes to the horror genre, grab your laptop, grab your phone, grab your old desktop if you still have one, and just punch into your server, punch in anything like best horror movies, or best horror movies of all time, and you're going to get this crappy list that pops up, and everything on there is going to be rated from IMDb. And you look at these ratings, and like these super epic horror movies have got these really low ratings and stuff.
Everybody wants to jump on the horror genre. They're trying to rewrite what we think horror should be. And we've accepted horror for what we've accepted it as being. And just because a particular thing horrifies you doesn't mean it should go into the horror genre.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. But I'm really curious, as to how in the world these, is it the fake reviews that that get paid for by these companies to hype these films up? Because there's a lot of films out there right now, guys, I got to tell you, that they are crap. There's nothing about them that is horror. They could be horror related, but they're not horror.
Horror is a strict genre, and it needs to remain that way.
Right.
But trying to slip shit in there. Jordan Peele is the worst.
Oh, yeah.
Like with Get Out, a horror movie.
Right.
The movie itself, not that bad. If you try to go into it looking at it like it's supposed to be a horror movie, maybe horrific to some, but it's not the horror genre.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he keeps putting them out.
Yeah, I know, and he keeps putting them out, and apparently he keeps making money.
Well, yeah.
Or he wouldn't keep putting the movies out. He has money to spend. You
gotta spend money to make money.
Yeah, exactly. But these movies, I really, really want to understand.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Take it out of the horror genre. Just, it needs to exit out of that genre altogether and pick another genre already,
Right, it should be like suspense thriller.
Maybe, yeah.
Suspense thriller.
Yeah.
That's a good one. But what I couldn't figure out is, there's a lot of movies that are in like psychological thriller that should just be flat out horror.
Oh yeah.
Come on, Silence of the Lambs.
Right.
That dude was eating people's faces.
Maybe at the time they couldn't run it as a horror movie, listed as a horror movie.
Right. It should be like psychological horror.
Yes.
There you go.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Just like Bates. And,
Norman Bates.
Norman Bates, exactly. That is psychological horror at its best. This
Psycho
dude actually had his dead mother
cult classic
still in the house.
Yeah.
That's some crazy ass shit right there. Now that's psychological. That's beyond thriller. That guy was screwed up.
Right.
Yeah.
Excellent horror movie.
Oh, you ain't wrong. It's like one of the best. Now, I'll tell you one that I do know that you've talked about in the past that I just don't see it is Rosemary's Baby.
Man, don't go off on Rosemary's Baby.
I just
it
don't
is so scary.
I just don't.
I guess maybe it's a female thing. Maybe it's being in this huge New York apartment alone. Your spouse works all the time. You're pregnant. You're living in a new area. And your only neighbors are some old people, elderly people,
Right.
And the whole thing. The cinematography is great. That movie is so scary. It's just so gritty. And a lot of young people, like I said before, they don't get it. They don't see it.
And that movie was the director,
Roman Polanski.
Roman Polanski, and of course we know the haunted history behind Roman Polanski, and then Charles Manson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's one of those crazy things that happens. But yeah, I mean, his movies are really good, but I just, for the life of me, just couldn't really grasp onto it. But I do want to say, we talked about earlier, The Shining,
Mm-hmm.
but the director